Oh my gosh. Alright, let's make sure you guys can hear me okay. So we're doing more footwear today. I am going to be building off of last stream and the footwear that we made there. Just a heads up. I also need to change something. There we go. Sound check. We got my logo. And then we will do the links here in about 5-ish minutes. We're going to do more footwear. I will be doing, or attempting to do, some ice skates today. But I will be building off of the last stream. So footwear kind of part 2-ish. We'll probably have some extra time, so I'm probably going to let the chat kind of throw out some ideas for more footwear that you want to see. And we can go from there after I've finished up the ice skates. There we go. Don't need that, and I need some image references. Scrolling around just for like image references. I don't want to spend too much time. A lot of you guys know how to add lacing, and if I just added lacing to these like ice skates that I'd be making, it will take a lot of time and y'all would be bored. So I think I'll do that one. All right, so it is about 5 minutes in, so let's go ahead and let me pull up my chat here. Start with all of the links like usual. So hello everyone, I am Megan. I work for Marvelous Designer as a 3D designer and community manager and trainer. I think in the chat we have Brandon. He'll be keeping an eye out for me, but I'll be mostly moderating today. And so, as you know, we are going to be making footwear. So let's get started with our basic links. So for those of you who are new to Marvelous Designer and want resources or communities, we have a Discord community, which I've just linked in the chat, where you can chat with other users, kind of share if you're encountering any issues, and we can take a look at the photos and kind of help you troubleshoot. It's a little bit faster than the forum sometimes. We do also have a forum. It is on our website, which is where you can also get our software. You can get a 30-day free trial, as well as that's where you can get your subscription. For those of you in the future who are watching this channel, I am going to be using Marvelous Designer. That is the software that I am using. Also the name of the channel. So again, The software is Marvelous Designer. As well, for those of you who are on Twitch, I'm linking our YouTube channel. For those of you on YouTube, you're already here. But we do let the 14 days expire on the YouTube channel for our streams, but here on the Twitch channel for our streams. But here on the YouTube channel, we do keep them in perpetuity, and I generally will make a thumbnail sometimes, sometimes in a proper time frame of what we've made. As well as on our YouTube channel, for those of you who want to get started using our software, here is a link to our beginner tutorials for how to use Marvelous Designer. I think this is our super beginner tutorial, so if you've never used the software, this is where you'd want to start. And if you are experiencing kind of technical issues, it's going to be best to contact us via the support tab on our website. You can email us at support@marvelousdesigner.com, but more often than not, we do encourage you to use the support tab, because then we get your account information and it makes it a little bit faster, and we don't have to ask as many questions to be able to help you faster. So let's go ahead and get started. Going over to my second window here. Okay, now I can go ahead and close my tabs. So I will probably be doing a really simple ice skate, but I'm going to be moving the ground. I do want to touch on this again. I've seen some comments about it. So we do have Marvelous Designer, and we have a sister software called Clo. Most users for Marvelous Designer are mostly going to be making their shoes in another software or sculpting them onto their custom avatar, because Marvelous Designer avatars, also if you read our rules, our policies, you can't actually use them in any projects. So there's kind of less point in having the feature that Clo does, which is to assign a shoe to an avatar. Just so you guys know, you can't use our avatars in external projects. That is in our policies. Just a heads up. But some people do want to know how to make shoes entirely in Marvelous Designer, how they would be made in real life. So we're going to be doing that today. Pulling up my chat. There we are. So again, I'm going to be making something similar to this, but I will not be lacing it, just for the sake of time, so that we can maybe get a second set of footwear in, because we are limited to the 2 hours today. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up my previous project of, I think, the men's shoe, because it does have a small heel. I'll be doing like an ice skating shoe slash like maybe a hockey skate. Similar concept. So I'm going to be opening up the previous project that was the men's shoe. And I have to make some changes to it, but it's very similar. Let me pull up the piece here. And turn on thick textured surface. So here is the shoe from last stream. I want to say last week, but it was not last week. 2 weeks ago. It was a basic men's shoe. I do need to fix the toe box a bit. The thing with our toe boxes is, and me working in Marvelous Designer for this, is that our avatar's feet, I'm just going to hide my fabric. We cannot warp the feet, and oftentimes the feet tend to get warped in the toe box while you're wearing them, so just keep that in mind. If you do want to make something like this on your own avatar, you might want to customize the actual foot before you create the shoe. Similar to how I say to, if you don't want to make a full undergarment for a like period garment, like a corset and a bustle, or a pannier pad, you can create an understructure on your avatar ahead of time. And it will make the Marvelous Designer simulate a little bit faster. I'm going to go ahead and hide my face. All right. Bringing this back. So to hide this, I used the hotkey Shift Q, just so you all know. Let's see. Hide the chat. Or hide that so I can see the chat. So I'm thinking something like this or something like this because it does have a bit of a heel just like the men's shoe does. So the men's shoe has a bit of a heel, not much of one. Let's look at another let's look at the reference images again. I can probably get away with one of these skates. One of these more thicker styles here. Moving this so I can see it. So it looks to me, based on the shoe here, I need to maybe heighten the heel a little bit. Or I can just remove the heel and just add the skate. So I'm actually not going to be moving my avatar in the space. I'm going to be moving my ground. Which you can do. It's a little bit finicky because you have to remember how far you've moved it. But you can move the ground. The grid will always stay at 0, 0, but I can hide it from myself. So I'm going to make the boot first, and then I will add the skate afterwards. So here's that existing pattern that I had from last stream. Super simple, super basic. And the reason that my other shoe is on this avatar is because if I delete this shoe, he will go into automatically feet flat on the ground, and I don't want that. I do want to have that little bit of a heel. So I'm going to be pulling up my reference one more time, moving it so I can see the chat if you all have any questions. And again, hiding this because I want to make this more narrow, but I don't think I can, but we're going to find out. I mean, it's an okay shape. Again, I'm just looking at a picture here. I'll actually insert a picture, add background image. File, just so you guys can see it. Let's see, work. I have a few ice skating shoes, so I'm going to just grab one of these. Or I'll just save image. Work. I'll just grab this one, just so you kind of all can see it. Add background image. I'm just going to move this out of the way so we can see it, because I'm kind of referencing this shape right now. It's going to be a smaller heel. That's fine. It's a similar concept. I'm going to be making this a higher boot, so what I'm going to do is increase the height on him to about here. And that means that it's going to be this piece that's going to move in height. And the tongue of the shoe, which means I'll make some fit changes, and then I'm going to go ahead and change it. Okay. So there's a few ways I could manipulate this pattern. I can just start grabbing at it with my edit tools if I wanted, you know. Or sometimes, because I don't want to make mistakes and then have to hit Control-Z all the time, I'm just going to cheat it a little bit and just kind of trace my pattern. And the shape here, and just make a piece that fits perfectly in it and make a sewing relationship. So I'm hitting the C hotkey to make a curve line. I'm going to make all of these transparent surfaces. And I'm going to make that sewing relationship. And make a symmetrical piece. So right click and symmetrical pattern with sewing. Apply that over here. Where are we going? There we are. Grab the chat. Hi! Welcome everybody. We're just starting the shoe. I'm just starting the top portion of the boot. Scrolling up so you guys can see. So we're starting the manipulation of the men's shoe that we made last time. But first I'm changing the fit, and then I'm going to change the style. Because I definitely am going to need to make some changes here. I'm keeping this piece frozen to make it easier. And I am sewing the backs together. And I could let it simulate, but I'm going to right click and choose superimpose side. Let that kind of sort itself out. Control H. Make my life a little easier if I can. And reapply that leather value. Going to fabric, I'm just typing in leather. I don't want lambskin, it is too soft, so I'm choosing the trim leather. That should be what all of these settings are. Drag and drop. And making sure it's on thick textured surface because I am making changes to this in a second. And because these pieces are still relatively small, I can get away with working at the 5 or 10 particle distance. I'm going to make it 10 for now. And you can see that it's still thin and clearly it has a bit of a fit issue. It's still thin because the simulation thickness on these other pieces is, what, at 3? So we're going to just add that to it. I'm sorry, additional rendering thickness is at 3. And that will affect how this simulates. Not bad. Obviously, I need to start shaping this a bit better. You can do those kinds of shoes in Marvelous Designer. It just takes a lot of time. You just gotta be patient. All right, there we go. This definitely has a problem. That's fine. It looks all wonky. That's also fine. I need to narrow the shoe as well as clearly clean up some of this. Optimize curve points. I'm gonna go ahead and make all of these. I'm just gonna delete these curve points. Make that a little bit easier. It's not perfect. And I'm actually using my reference here. So for those of you who are new to Marvelous Designer, if you select anywhere on your fabric in the 3D window, you'll get a little blue reference ghost. We call it a ghost, or a little blue reference dot. It will appear in the same corresponding location on your 2D pattern. So I'm just lengthening the tongue of the shoe now. Clearly it needs to go higher. And I think this is going to need to become wider as well. Check my sewing relationship. Okay. And also make this 3 millimeters additional rendering thickness for the tongue. I can probably get away with widening. Looking at this reference again, I can probably get away with widening it severely and making a bunch of cuts. So I do want to clean this up first, so let's go ahead and do that. Using my edit sewing tool, I'm right-clicking the sewing relationship I want to merge together. Right-click and merge. It will apply that to both sides. There we go. And you can see that this is all wonky, so I definitely need to clean this up. But I can easily do that. Yeah, you can model footwear in Marvelous Designer. I am reading the comments. You can model it in Marvelous Designer, but I would still recommend you model it on like your own custom avatar. And for those of you who are new, oh, thank you, Rosemary. For those of you who are new, make sure to watch the previous stream where we did build a men's basic shoe, which is what we're building off of right now, and a woman's high heel. For the corresponding avatars. Obviously, I could still put a high heel on my male avatar if I wanted. Come on. So now that I've lengthened it, we can see them having a little bit of a problem with it starting to sag. So let's see what's going on here with the fit. I'm just moving this out of the way. Can I just hide you? Thank you. Not the whole avatar. Fine. I'll do it the other way then. Move. Hi Fredo, welcome back. Alright, you can see kind of here with the heel it's starting to sag, so I'm going to need to accommodate for that. Because now it has the weight up here. I can do that in a few ways. Number one, I think it's just the fit of this is not tight enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and give that a try. Also check my sewing relationship. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to make a... I'm going to have to center this and make some sewing lines on it where I want my laces to fit, because this will need to be quote-unquote permanently laced up. As you can see, I am keeping the lower heels frozen because I don't need them to actually move. I have a feeling that this is too tight. So let's see. Or too loose. Yes, it is too loose. This is also how you can make a boot, by the way. Here we go. I've made a boot. I can just keep increasing its height. This is definitely too high, too tall. Let's see if I can do something about the fit. Again, because of my simulation, I'm checking. It's still coming down. His foot is standing pretty straight. So I bet if I just add a very simple curve. In this case, this is not going to be the same for all of them. Based on his heel and how his foot is and how I've angled the foot in the previous stream, this is much more flat than probably this guy. As you can see, it's going closer to the heel, and it's a little bit of a higher heel, so the angle of the foot's going to be different. So just keep that in mind. Again, I'm moving this to check the fit. This is going to be tight. I mean, I'm not really designing this for comfort. So, I mean, this is acceptable. I can also check my strain map. Come here. Not bad. It's tight in the front here, but that's honestly fine. Because it should be. You can see my pattern. I do want to point this out. I've seen a few comments, kind of in multiple Discord channels, where they get a point like this. You can see how it's coming up to a point. This is because your pattern's not squared off. So you can tell that I'm still working in progress. But because they're pointed up like this, my lines aren't going in a perpendicular when they're meeting and sewing together, and that's what's causing this angled point, and it goes the other way as well. So whenever you're sewing or creating a pattern and you get this here, check that sewing relationship line, check those pattern shapes, and you'll end up figuring out where the problem is, and you can just fix it by either lowering the angle. You can also just cut right across, so you'd want to square it off. Generally, it's best practice to keep it at about a 90-degree angle. It's helpful for people to remember when they're first kind of starting. Okay. I'm going to activate this piece as well. Yeah, you can see here this has a bit of a problem. So let's take a look. Oh, okay. That was just the frozen. piece. Okay. Now let's turn off the strain map and keep the simulation thickness going. You can see a little bit of a bump, but that should be fine. That's 3. Okay, yeah. I have the little ridge here. That is because this is still thicker of a simulation thickness than the second one. I'm probably going to end up cutting this like this. The tongue is a little bit of a funny shape, so let's go ahead and fix that. Again, I'm just looking at this one as a reference. It's never going to be perfect, but we'll get there. Where's the tongue? Come here, you. So I can see that it's still really tall, and so I'm just going to move it down. Alright, now I can start cleaning up my work. For those of you who are new to Marvelous Designer, if you've made something like this, you can go ahead and also just draw on your fabric in the 3D window using the edit line tools. So you can draw on your avatar to create a pattern, which we do have a tutorial for on our YouTube channel, which is the edit line avatar or line avatar tool, or you can use the edit 3D pattern tools or the line 3D pattern tools. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of draw how I want this to go. I'm holding control to make curve points. And I'm trying to do it on the half as much as I can. And if you look in the 2D window, you'll see a little bit of a really light gray line here showing me where that pattern is, or where that line I've drawn is. So I can then go to the edit line tool, right click, and you can cut it. I personally prefer to choose convert to internal shape so that I can then kind of clean it up. Because I know I never get it perfectly correct. And as you can see, it does apply to the patterns that are symmetrically linked, but this piece here was not symmetrically linked over like a center line, so I'm just going to go and copy and Control R for mirror paste. So I can just check this. So again, I'm just going to drag this up so you guys can kind of see where I'm going. I can cut into this toe box if I want. We'll see how I like it. Because then I'm going to have to also lengthen the tongue even more of the shoe. And that's also the reason why I have not fixed this piece up here, is because I'm just going to go ahead and cut these. Using the Edit Pattern tool or the Z hotkey, I'm just selecting those lines and choosing Cut, not Cut and Sew. And now I can see what I need to fix for the tongue. I'm just rotating this because it was sewn to this point. But now this needs to become wider. And where is it? Smooth curve tool. I'm gonna be a little bit of a cheater. And make it as close as I can to this. These did lose their strengthening, so I'm going to reapply that, which is the Control H hotkey. And make this taller again. Not that tall. You know what? How much do I just want to cut this into itself? Do I want to make this bigger? Or Control J, I'm just going to hide this actually and simulate and get these in place. Because this isn't perfect, so I wanted to see. There looks like a sewing relationship is happening and causing a problem here. Ah, I see. There we go. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Not perfect, obviously. Alright, so we're going to cut a little bit more out. Line 3D pattern tool. Just going to go ahead and keep going. And choose the edit tool again. Convert to internal shape. Close enough. Cut. And delete all of those. Beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful boot. It's done. He can't walk now. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Where's... Because it wasn't perfect, but that's fine. Let's see. I'm going to use this offset stitch line to create the sewing relationship where I'm going to have the tongue go. So I'm going to offset this. Offset is an internal line. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, which is 12.5 millimeters. And then I'm going to clean up a little bit of my points here. And do the same with this piece. Offset is internal line, 12.5. I'm choosing extend. I might not like it. We're going to see. These are not symmetrical pattern pieces, by the way. That is why they are not symmetrical on each side. But I can now merge them to this toe box to keep this a little bit cleaner. I wonder how well I could merge this. Okay, this one, I don't think I can. I'd have to slice this down the center, which I will. Cut and sew. So I do want to keep my patterns as consistent as possible. So I've split that down the center, and now I can merge it at the end. I do know that these can be kept symmetrically linked, so I can make the fit a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them like that for now. But now that I have this, I can link these together. So my little white points are not connected, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to redo this, because now that I've merged them, this will be way cleaner. Selecting them all, and I'm just going to do that offset one more time. Offset is internal line, 12.5. That's great. And I'm going to stitch this to that. So this is oversized, which is great for me. I'm selecting that internal line, and I am going to copy this and paste it onto this tongue. Delete any excess. Oops. Just delete this point here. Cut. I figured I couldn't get away with that. Let me merge these first. Merge to average. Cut. What am I missing? Ah. Extend and trim. And extend and trim. What am I missing here? There we go. Now that I know that this is going to fit right there, I can go ahead and sew it into place. Holding shift, oops, backspace if you make any mistakes. And now I can activate the tongue, unhide it, Control J to reactivate. Oh, hitting Shift J. Okay. All right, cool. So there's the tongue. It's in place. It's sewn here. So now he can get his, you know, proverbial foot in and out of this shoe. Again, it is still too short, so I'm just going to go. I'm going to select these lower pieces with the Edit Pattern tool and just grab them and hold Shift. I think I made that too tall, like always. There we go. Close enough. Okay. And let's clean up this a little bit before we start fixing this side here. Again, it's just a little bit curved and I want to have that kind of lower. I'm going to match the design a little bit. This is my fantasy shoe and I get to pick how I want it to be. You can see here that it's coming to a point. So if I wanted to make this a little bit less of a point at the center back, I can just pull this down. I'm swapping over to the curve point tool so I can just add the 2 points and keep them square. So you'll see that this is now almost a right angle, which is what I want. So it'll be pretty consistent across that line, and that's how you can square your patterns off. Same with up here, it's nice and square, another almost 90-degree angle. But I do want this to be curved, so I'm just going to use the smooth curve tool again, grab that, and then just kind of pull it. And there we go. Hindsight, I probably should have kept those pieces that I cut off from the shoe. Oh well. I think it's going to be close to like here in the shoe, because now I need to sew them to the internal line for fitting purposes, for now at least. Offset his internal line again with those pieces, keeping it at the 12 millimeters, 12.5 millimeters. Let's see. I can probably cheat it the other way. And I'm going to free sew. Where is this? This side is this side. I'm going to free sew from this edge, holding Shift, continuing up there. Oh, there we go. Okay, that kind of works. Kind of works out. Again, holding Shift to select multiple lines, because these are not yet connected. Not bad. Okay, not bad. Probably gonna move that a little bit, but we're getting there. I do like the shape of this, so I'm probably going to go ahead and keep it. So I'm going to merge those pattern pieces to make this easier. What a lovely shape of the shoe. It's like a little elf shoe. All right, so now that way I can actually see where my offset is of these two pieces. Merge to average. Merge to average. Clean up some of this. Again, these are no longer symmetrically linked. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so it looks like me doing that. It's not perfect, but that's fine. It's a little bit better than I thought it would look. Because I'm trying to cheat and avoid not doing those ties right now. For the sake of the stream. But we're getting there. Stream, what else, what other kind of footwear would you like to see? Once I'm done with this ice skate. Offset is internal line. We're gonna do a 1/2 inch again. Ooh, we could do some strappy sandals. You look at our avatar's lovely feet. Come on. So we've got a vote for some strappy sandals. Gotta fix that for a second. I think normally I have like a little bit of pressure on these shoes. So you can see it's warping a little bit here just because of the angle of stretch. Because there is a little bit of a bias on this. So that is because I merged them together. So I'm kind of cheating it because you can. I mean, we don't have to perfectly make this fit 100% accurate because we can always sculpt in Marvelous Designer. So I'm using pressure to actually adjust for those wrinkles there and kind of keep them away. So we're actually like really close. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the sewing relationships with these. And then I can add the ice skate blade. Which side are you? I think it's this side. All right, we're getting there, so let me just do a little bit of the extra bits. Add a point at the end. Offset as 1 or 1 millimeter. Okay, so we can kind of see where my sewing is going to go. Add point at the end, pattern outline, offset, and let's see. Just so you guys can see it, I'll add those little grommets while we maybe get more than just one vote for a different type of shoe. Let's see. And let's go to, not fabric, I want to go to my button and buttonholes. Default buttonhole, I want to use an eyelet. So I'm just going to go ahead and cheat this just so you guys can see it. So here's where I would have the lacing or the eyelets for the laces. So I can just add eyelets in place and then attach the straps to them if I was to actually do this. So I'm going to the button tool and just going, I will change the size, don't worry. Oops, let's get, okay. And move them a little bit. So my button's definitely too big. Let's do 10. It's a little better. And we'll do one more. They are a bit thick, so let's do 2. Oops. Why'd I do that? Come back. There. Copy, and I'm going to reflect paste, Control R. Let me look at it from above. Okay, Control R. It's not perfect, but that is fine. Because again, these are not actually symmetrical because there's a bit of a different fit on the one side than the other. So we do have this in some of the tutorials. I did want to just show everyone this. So these buttons are actually sewn to the center circle, to the center of their circle. So if you want to kind of cheat the hole to be clear or see-through, transparent, but you still want to utilize the buttons, I'm just going to make this almost the exact same size as my button. Let's do that one more time. Going from the center of the button, I'm just drawing that. You can this way kind of create the hole while having that button applied. I'm going to lock all pattern outlines right now. And then do that one more time. Yes, this is the boring part. Imagine if I did all the lacing. There's those. Try and do this all in one go. You could do this one at a time too. Okay. Right clicking and I'm choosing cut and sew. Figured. What am I missing? Okay, these all worked. You. What are we doing over here? Cut and sew. Why is this? Because this is on the edge. My button can move too. Let's grab that. And bop bop. Alright, let's try that one more time. So now what I'm doing here is making the holes, and then I'm going to do this. Unlock all pattern outlines. Move my now little lace grommets here, so I can more easily just kind of select them all. Go to my fabric, make a copy, and make the opacity 0, and just apply that to this whole group. So now you can see through it with that button in place. Okay. So that's how you would do buttons. That took me a little bit. But let's go ahead and make that ice skate. I'm going to go ahead and draw in the 3D window where my line is going to be. Line 3D pattern. I'm just going to draw the line. Okay, it looks like I need to do... See if it might be easier in the 3D window. Probably not. You go there. You move. I'm right-clicking and rotating parallel to this line and this line so that I can then line them up. So this is my shoe here. I can now do this. An internal polygon and line from the toe box all the way to the back. You know, I don't actually know how they're shaped now that I think about it, because it's a very curved foot. But, alright, whatever. So that did that on this piece. I'm going to go ahead and lock this pattern. Or move it out the way at least just a little bit. Because this is the lower heel, I'm just making it match on the other foot, or on the front portion of the shoe. You. Go this way. Thank you. And I'm making them match. I'm gonna cry. You. Come on. Okay. Now I'll move it. This is just another way to do it, because I have multiple layers of heel going on. Alright, so now they're the same line, so I can reference that. Going across this foot. I don't know if this is correct. No, I guess it is. Alright. Just so everyone else can see. Goes like that. So, I'll take it. I'm not going to be doing that mount, just like in that photo, but we'll do it a different way. So this is all basically done. I do want to reference... No, don't do that. My heel. Oh my goodness. Come here. Thank you. And I need to lower the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. How tall are ice skate blades? Tell me, internet. Otherwise, I'm going to pick 3 inches. Fine, I'm picking 3 inches. It's not telling me anywhere. Oh, okay, 2 to 3 inches, yeah. That's what I picked. So I'm going to lower the ground now. So simulation properties, ground, and ground height is currently at 0, 0. So if this was my own custom imported avatar, honestly, I would just move my avatar up. But I'm still using like the base generic avatar that we've got. So I can't move that base avatar. I'm just going to go ahead and move my ground. So to do that, I'm just doing height. 3 inches, so it should be like negative 78 millimeters. So you can't see because the grid doesn't move. Most of the time you're not going to be moving the ground, but you will see if I was to do a rectangle and I just like drop it in space. Give that a second. It's now below the grid. Having a party. Right there it goes. It's currently transparent, so let's fix that. There we go. So there's where the new ground is. I'm going to go ahead and turn the grid off because I can't really use that as a reference anymore. So you could also just keep the grid on and turn off collision for the ground, which would be simulation properties again, and then just turn collision off. but if you drop anything, it's just gonna go out into oblivion. So that's why I've moved the ground instead. You can see the shadows still there, but if I export it, bring it back in, I can just bring it back in at the correct height. So I've moved my ground. So let's go ahead and make that shoe. You can see he's missing his shoe. So I'm just going to actually sculpt it out of a piece here. So it's 76 inches and 76 again, or 76 millimeters, I should say. So I've made a square. I'm going to rotate these. Rotate x-axis and make these the little line I made the new x-axis. So I can do this. Kind of pick the length of the blade without having to actually do any math, because I don't want to do math today. So this is the correct height. Let me grab another reference image. And this will end up being the easiest part. I guess I've kind of given it an ice skate shape. So I guess we can just use this. Bring the stream back. Okay. I'm going to replace this image with just an image of an ice skate blade. So add image, desktop. Oh, where'd I put it? Where'd that go? I just grabbed that. Desktop. Oh, it went into the correct. Okay, went into the folder. Work. There it is. Well, there's a picture of the blade. Let's just do 50%. I'm lazy. I'm gonna resize it afterwards. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of trace this. Using an internal line. I'm gonna make this flat, just because we kind of know how it works. And I'll most likely have to adjust the heel height. I'm not going to be doing plates because I'm just going to sew it to that internal line because we can in Marvelous Designer. And then I'll make an ellipse right here. Right click my ellipse and convert that to a hole. Oops, come here. All of you. There it is. Isn't it beautiful? Now I'm just gonna go ahead and shrink it to fit. Is it gonna be perfect? Probably not. There we go. Cut. I figured I couldn't get away with that. And we'll double check my work, make sure it's the correct height-ish. Looks like this might need to be lower. This is a terrifying ice skating blade. This is not very good. Okay, I'm gonna lower that. There you go. That's a little bit better. Come here. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and try this. Going from the front of the toe to the back of the heel. Oh, we're gonna go bloop. Control H, make sure this is full grain leather. Make the rendering thickness probably 5. And make this 5 particle distance. Superimpose side. Oh, I probably should do under. Let's try that again. Do this manually then. Oh. Excuse you, where are you? What are we doing here? Little shoe. There we go, that's what I thought. Reset 3D arrangement. You come back. There you go. Don't know why I did that. Get in there. I'm gonna have to do this a little bit different. And partial freeze some of this. Alright, where are you? Okay, this needs to go higher to meet it. Let's see. Let's remove the curved side geometry right now. So it's flat. And this definitely needs to go higher. And move that up. And lengthen this. So now we're just trying to get this to fit, so I'm kind of finagling it into place. Because it is fabric, not metal right now, so it's like, doesn't really want to listen. Trying to get this shape in better. There we go. Okay, you know what? You know what? I might take that. I might take that. And then I'm going to move that. This just needs to be adjusted. You know what? He's never going to stop. I've decided. There's no stopping this guy. You know, I'm not going to add the little stop there. because this looks nicer. Let's see. There's no stopping him. There's no end. He's never gonna stop skating. That's these are how to make not safe skates. Let's see. I might do. I want to go to fabric, and I just want to see. Oh, I need to go back to my library. Sorry, library, and then I'll go to my fabric. I want to do trim hardware. Hardware. And now I'll go back to fabric. Okay. Let's see. It's a little wobbly right now. The more I look at this, the more I'm like, this is very unsafe. I'm gonna make this 0 for now, just to get it straight. Okay. Because again, it's not really a rigid. You could bring in a rigid object, but you could still do it this way in Marvelous Designer. Little floppy. What are you doing? Pick a side. Okay. Let's just make this 0. Just for the sake of speed. The stiffest preset is hardware with some modifications. So you can do the trim hardware and then go to your physical property presets and start messing with them. It would be best to increase the simulation thickness, which is why I'm doing that here. What I am just going to do for the sake of this is reset 3D. And keep it like this for now. I mean, again, you're working with cloth and I'm trying to fake metal. So it's never going to be perfect, but I'm going to keep it like this for now. I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to call this kind of done just for the sake of the stream. That way we can at least get on to something else. And there is the kind of start of our shoe here. Oh, what I should do. The one thing I didn't do is remove, cut, the edge that I've given it. Because I've made it a little bit wider. Because it was a normal shoe. But these end up getting narrow. And then I need to do some cleanup work, obviously. And then I'll do some cleanup work after this, because it's going to be a narrow foot. But I'm going to go ahead and save this. Save as project ice skates. And then, since no one has answered my question except for Rosemary, I guess we're going to do some strappy little sandals for our boy here. File, new. And because there's sandals, I can go ahead and delete shoes. Remove. I'll keep my shoe in place. I might want to keep the shape. File, open, project. Men's shoes. And I'll turn the grid back on. I'm going to check my simulation properties. Ground collision has returned to its normal spot. And I'm going to move this shoe. Move avatar to ground. Do I want to do that? I could have it a little thick. I'm going to move the ground for a second. Ground. I'm going to make it higher, and then it'll land on it. So I want to add... I'm going to keep it like 5 millimeters. So right click. Move avatar to ground. Yeah, it's not thick enough. Move avatar to ground. Excuse me. Fine, I'll just leave it like this. I guess I do like this actual height because 10 millimeters still isn't kind of enough. It's only a centimeter, so. We'll make him some strappy sandals. Let's find some strappy sandals. Let's see. We can make some basic sandals. Scrolling through images here. We could do like a little, you know, basic thong sandal. We could do some more strappy sandals. Little Birkenstocks. It's just the little toe. So I think a basic sandal might be where we want to go. Kind of like these. So let's go ahead and do that. Little flip-flops. We'll just throw this into the background again. Flip-flop. Reference image. Okay. So here's our shoe, and we can use this. To make our flippy floppy. Trying to think if I want to do super simple. We could do like the super simple foam style. Do the simple flat style. And then we can kind of do our design adjustments there. I'm merging this again. Smooth curve tool again, because I want to kind of smooth this out. This one too. Looking at the bottom of the foot here. I don't want to do that. I can keep the shape. What does a sandal's bottom look like? What does the silhouette of a sandal look like for men? Okay, it's pretty simple. Much straighter toe box. Go back where you were. I don't need any of this. Okay. Simulate that so it goes on the ground. Oh, I still have pressure on this. Like, what's going on? There we go. And now I'm going to move my ground. That is a good height. Okay. So, I do want to look at this. Check the silhouette. Because I can get away with making this way boxier now. So I can reduce this to here. So I'm just going to draw on it just like I did earlier with the Line 3D pattern tool. You can see that I'm actually using the wrong side of the material for the, or my flip normal for here. And then I am going to actually pull this out. Give me my reference again. I'm just going to use the C key and convert this to a curve point, and similar to this one. Maybe not that one. Using the C key, I can do all of the curve points, so instead of one at a time. And optimize curve points. Go back and clean this up. Because I don't need this to be as tight as before. Nor do I need this internal line right now, because it's going to be cleaned up a lot. So let's go ahead and use the edit line, convert to internal shape, select those both, extend and trim, add point to pattern outline. Now I can kind of play with its shape. 5. Looking above, give me your foot, sir. I'm not being weird about it, I just want to make you a shoe. Curve side geometry. I just want to make you a shoe. And I'm just going to do cut. I don't know why I chose cut and sew, but I'm cutting this off. Because now I've kind of got the shape. I'm going to convert a lot of these to curve points. And go to my curve points and then start deleting them. Because this is going to be a really basic shape. Let's have no curve side geometry, please. Give me back my foot. Where'd you go? Trying to not dance around. Okay. So now we're just playing around. I have not prepped a sandal yet, so you all get to see me struggle. And do this all live. Convert to curve point. Convert to curve point. Don't know why we're still getting some curve side geometry attempts here, but okay. Let's see. There's more on that side, so I'm gonna add just a little bit to the inner portion of the foot. Because these are gonna be comfy sandals. Ish. You know what? Copy image. Add background image. Save image. Save. Give. There you are. Alright, you come here. Transparent. There we go. Oh my goodness. We're gonna make this just a little bit bigger. So what I'm doing here is I just made it, I'm just bringing in the silhouette of a shoe that I kind of want. That's better. And I'm like, okay, fine. Should optimize this anyway. And last but not least, this portion. Okay. Well, that's there. And let's see. Turn off curve side geometry. I don't know why you keep trying to do that. And I want to rotate this just a little bit. There we go. All right, cool. So let's change out that image back to the thong shoe. And in between his little toesies. Internal line. Fine. I'll just draw it again. So I could do a bunch of different styles. But this one seems the hardest, so I'm choosing this one. Convert to internal shape. And it's going to be about, let's see, here. Okay, cool. I'm just going to reflect this. Unfold with symmetrical editing. Why does that look longer? That's weird. Let's see. How do I want to do that? Can I move his toes? Let's see. I don't know if we've added joints to all the toes. We have not. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I will probably just do a circle. Everything's like a freaky circle. Okay. Turn a little ellipse. Don't do that. Ellipse for me. What is the circumference of this ellipse? Please tell me. Uh, 16.6. So I'm gonna make the little strap for the shoe first, in like 30 millimeters. I'm doing a fold over for the toe for the toe portion, so it's gonna be folded, and then it's gonna be a circle here. So I'm gonna split this into 3. Offset as internal line. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Deactivate avatar, because this is going to be potentially a problem. Freeze this. And oh yes, this must be 5, and this also needs to be 5. Okay, good. And this layer is going to need to be in the negative. Come here, you. Come back. Come back. Fine. Make it 0. Layer clone under. I'm going to layer clone for the thickness afterwards, but this will help with this problem. And what am I doing? I'm gonna have to decrease my avatar skin offset. That's gonna be 0. So my avatar is not active, but it's acting like it is. Dance for me, dance. might have to increase this. Do no layers. There you go. Is this just too small, maybe? I worry that it's the normal here. Fine. I guess I'm gonna have to test this. Oh, it's the sewing relationship. It's not, there's no additional collision thickness, it's only one. If I have 0, then it's not gonna go, then it'll collide with itself. They're both 5. Turn off curve side geometry, please. Fine, I'm just gonna do a straight line again. I guess that'll be easier. You know, I didn't think that would work as well as it did, but alright. They both have no layers, no pressure. Why are we dancing? This is not dancing time. I like how it's just waving. Hi guys! How are you? I'm just here to cause problems. I can make this 0. It is already 0. Probably gonna have to make this 3 particle distance, which I don't want to do. Why are we dancing? Why are we dancing? That's where you choose? That's where you choose. Are you kidding me? This is where you choose to live, is in the middle of the two toes. You know what? I'll take it. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Hello. How is everybody? It's just waving. I think that's the funniest thing. Yeah. Hello. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll take it. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not going to question it. Flip normals for me. Where are you at? Yes, I know you want to go that way. We're not going to do that, though. All right. I'm going to reapply the leather value. So aside from just the plain fabric, you can go down to the piece. Okay, so it is full grain leather. I'm going to make sure that it's Control H then. It's a little less stretchy. As you know, it's relatively forgiving, but don't want it to be that forgiving. Okay, so I'm going to do it there. And just sew it into place on both sides, and then I'm just going to start moving it around. Boop. Let's see. Make sure my sewing relationship is turned. There we go. Well, the middle of the toe part took longer than anticipated, but so you can see it kind of clipping into my avatar. That is because of the skin offset being 0. I can make it 1, and we're going to see how that looks. Okay, that's better. Okay, make sure it's thick textured surface. Look back at the reference. I could add a tag if I wanted. I can do a bunch of other designs. But actually, let's fix the heel. Layer clone. Oh, wait, this is... Where's my normals? Which direction are we going? Okay, so layer clone under. Making sure it's under. this time I'm going to increase the simulation thickness by 9. Unfreeze. And then turn on thick textured surface. What if I could just get away with turning this back up to 10? Close. Oh, other way. And there we go. Now we have our flip-flop. Let's see. I should make this a little thicker. Oh, this is 20 particle distance too. 5. I'm hitting F to focus or zoom in. And there we have our very simple... Okay, we're inside my avatar now. There we have our little thong shoe. There we go. It's also a little bit better on the fit. So there's our thong shoe. How much time do we have? We have a couple more minutes. I'm going to do another one. The easiest part, save as project. Again, I'm not obviously finishing these just for the sake of the stream. Delete. Wait, I want to keep this one in place and then delete this. And then we'll make this real easy. A little slide on flippy flops. Align bottom and align bottom. I will like curve this just a little bit. Where are you at? And this one, 2. Widen that. Let's just change the color of this for a minute. And of course we have our flippy floppies. Here's our second pair of flip-flops. The first one was the hardest. Now these are going a little bit funny. Well, I'll make this layer 1. So it's making sure to go over and not collide. Oh wait, which direction are my normals again? Normals are a little confusing if you don't remember which direction you've placed them. Okay, that's above. Okay, so that should work. Okay. Especially if you're not actually using them like you would normal fabric. Collision thickness will make this 5 as well. And I'm going to reduce the length of this. And then I do cleanup work. I don't like this. 1. And we'll also make this one. So it's a little bit more attached. And then I'm going to do the layers. Then I'll do layer clone under. There's a few ways to do this, so if I didn't want to worry about the simulation thickness like that, I could just make this a full box. So circumference of this is 698.4. Okay, so I can make this a box instead. And making sure to start from the one direction. And they are kind of mirrored, so just keep that in mind. Deleting that seam line. Right click and superimpose side. We'll hit F to focus. I might have done it backwards. Whoop. Where are we at? Okay, here we are. And there we go. So I can also just do it this way. And I'll let it warp on his own foot, including this one. Oops, don't do it that way. Just a little higher. A little bit. If I want to get kind of a molded shape, I can just lift my piece. Oops, don't do that. There we go. And I'll just keep it plain flat. And there we go. So that's also how you can make it a box instead of using just collision thickness. I do want to make sure that my sewing relationships are all turned, though. What are we doing? What is this? Oh, collision thickness. Oh. Let's return height to 0. And now I can just pull this down to wherever I want it to go. There. And we'll just leave it like that. And so that's how I can have it also be a little bit thicker. And that also gets me the last sandal. So I'm going to go ahead and save my project again. Sandal 2. And I think we are almost out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and share those resource links again in the chat. So again, here's a link to our Discord channel where you can join and share your work, get some troubleshooting help if you need it. If you want to get our software, here's a link to the Marvelous Designer website. That's also where the forum is. Same thing as our Discord. I think our Discord is sometimes a little more active, but it really depends because there's people from all around the world. For our YouTube channel. I'm linking that again just for you guys over on Twitch. We will let this expire after the 14 days, but it will still be here on YouTube, as well as tutorial links. So here's the beginner tutorial for getting started working in Marvelous Designer. Obviously shoes are a little more complex, a little more frustrating as you saw me playing around. And I'm linking again the support contact link as well. So I just do want to remind everybody that you would then export this shoe as an OBJ, and then you can bring it in. You can then do whatever you want with it, but just remember that I personally prefer using my own custom avatar and then bringing it in, making the shoe if I want to do it in that way, and then exporting that out, making a symmetrical piece. You can do it this way as well. This will be a little faster. And then just kind of making it part of your avatar, because it really depends on your preference of how you make and how you work. But there he is. He's only got his sandals. Another way for making shoes in Marvelous Designer is if you have a custom avatar, of course, and you want to make a bit more detail of a shoe, you can bring in your like a foot of the avatar, like, you know, cut off the foot and export it, and you can bring it in at a larger scale. This also does work with gloves, and I would encourage that if you want to get a lot more detail, because yes, we do work at human scale in the software, but if you want a lot more detail in those smaller pieces, you can always bring them in at a larger scale and then work that way. Our guy is ready for the beach. Wait, let's throw on some shorts for him. I think we have some shorts. There we go. Add to workspace. No. Add. Get them shorts in. There we go. Now he's ready for the beach. First he was ready to go ice skating, and now he's ready for the beach. I don't know where he lives, but he is ready. But thank you guys all so much for joining us on our stream today. It is the 2-hour mark, so we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Let us know if you want to see more. Let me move this over here. Let us know if you want to see more and what more you want to see. You can send us your suggestions. Either you can just kind of comment them on the YouTube video, or you can always send us suggestions to the community@marvelousdesigner.com email. We can't help with technical issues on that email, so just so you know. That's just more for ideas and what people want to see. I would like to make some more solid streams and solid planned out streams in the future, so I would love to hear your feedback. And thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Rosemary, as always, for joining us. Love having you guys in the chat. And I hopefully will see you guys in our Discord channel. Bye! Have a good rest of your week. Yeah, jump on a Discord, and I'll keep an eye.